This is a description of a typical Friday night for Sissy Van Dyke in San Francisco. And I'm going to one of my favorite clubs. It's called Club Grrrl. That's girl with 3 R's. I fastened my extra helmet to the back of the bike because I never know who might be wanting to ride, and I'm not a gal who likes to disappoint. I show up at Club Grrrl at 11:30, which is the perfect time. By then, most of the couples have trundled off to bed, the drunks are well into their cups and are easy to avoid, and after an hour or so of being ignored, most of the "I'm too sexy for you" women have begun to become a little bit more realistic. I get a parking spot right out front, which is easy since I can usually slide my bike in between 2 parked cars. Inside, the club is packed and the music is bumping. This looks like it's going to be a great night. I check my helmet and jacket, then sashay around to get the lay of the land. Wouldn't you know it, within the first 10 minutes, I spot not 1, but 3 of my exes. When you date as much as I do, I guess that comes with the territory. This usually isn't a problem. In fact, if it weren't for my exes, I'd hardly have any friends at all. Even if I did try to avoid them, it would be virtually impossible in a small, queer world like San Francisco. So when I run into an ex, I usually go right over to her to break the ice and start the evening off in the spirit of sisterly goodwill. And that's exactly what I do now. I start off with my last girlfriend, Penny Albright, the intellectual. She's a history professor over at Cal State San Francisco. When I first met her, I was very attracted to her mind. That is, until I discovered she was pretty much a nerd from the neck down. She's the sort of woman who has a lot of oral sex. She doesn't actually have sex, but she talks a lot about it. I'm probably exaggerating when I say that Penny only talks about sex. After all, she is an intellectual. She probably thinks about it a lot, too. She spent most of our relationship trying to get me to understand her complicated sexual theories. Personally, I've always found theoretical sex a little dissatisfying. Next, I spend a few minutes conversing with Sue Ann Lynch, the lawyer. Well, not really conversing. Sue Ann spent some time cross-examining me. So, what you been up to? Seeing anyone? Did you see my new Prius? Yada, yada, yada. I really like Sue Ann, and I learned a lot from her about living trusts. Now all I have to do is get enough money to start a trust with instead of having to spend it all on living. Finally, I linger fondly beside Trixie Whalen, the most recurrent of my casual flings and the most difficult one to get over. The trouble with Trixie is that when she is good, she is very, very good. But when she's bad, she's psycho. So far, it looks like it's going to be one of her good nights. Still, with Ms. Trixie, I never know when her revolving door personality of hers is going to start spinning out of control. One of our mutual friends recently told me that Trixie has been on medication to control her mood swings, but I'm not convinced. That woman has made a lasting impression on me, and I still have the scars to prove it. I reluctantly managed to draw myself away from Trixie's velvet clutches, and I station myself beside the dance floor, where I can see and be seen. I study the dancers, looking for someone I'd be compatible with both off the floor and on. I'm a firm believer that the way a woman dances says a lot about how comfortable she is with her body. Case in point, I met Trixie at a dance club. She was a wonderful dancer and even more wonderful in bed. On the other hand, I met Penny at a feminist theory lecture, and we had already broken up by the time I first saw her dance, which is what she's doing now, sort of. From the way she's jumping and flailing her arms around, she's looking flaming hot, but not a very sexy hot, and oh my goodness, I'm on fire kind of hot. I can't help but notice the way people dancing around her give her plenty of room to do her thing. I'm not quite sure what beat she's moving to, but I think it's the lead guitar. Uh-oh. My spider senses have just picked up a sure sign of trouble at 12 o'clock. Yep, that guy at the pool table is definitely giving me the eye. Yikes, he just winked at me. The only thing I hate more than a straight man in a dyke club is a straight man trying to cruise me in a dyke club. I mean, it's pretty disconcerting. Here I am dressed up in my butchy best, only to have some guy come out of nowhere and tell me how pretty I look. I usually return the favor. Dang, Mr. Man is heading my way. Oh no, I can tell from his gangster lean that he's got a serious buzz on. Looks like it's going to be a bumpy night. Hi there, pretty lady. What's your name? Lucretia Manslayer, I say with my best lesbian Avenger menace. But this guy remains woefully unmenaced. My name's Willie Everlarn. How nice for you. Willie is a couple of inches taller than me. I'm 5'6", and he looks like he got his outfit right out of the Sears catalog, right from his ribbed Henley polo shirt, polyester blend slacks, down to his pleather loafers. So, what are you doing here, standing all alone? He asks. Actually, I'm not here alone. I'm here with at least 100 other women. This is a women's club, in case you hadn't noticed. Oh, I noticed, all right, hell. That's what I came for, excuse me. At a normal club, there'd be like 2 or 3 guys, every girl. Here, the odds are a lot better. Except that most of the women here don't date men. Willie shrugs. I've taken that into account, and the numbers still work in my favor. What are you, an accountant? Nope, a professional gambler. Well, if I were you, I'd cash my chips and try another casino. Some of these girls might not appreciate you trying to hit on them, and they might even hit back. Oh yeah? What about you? I'm one of those girls. Again, our man is more charmed than intimidated by my attempt to sound threatening. Oh, you're a feisty one. I like that a lot. Care to dance? No. Can I buy you a drink? No. What do you want? I want you to scram. You're cramping my style. Oh, I get it. If your girlfriends see you talking to me, they might think you're into guys, huh? No, only a lame brain like you would think that. Insults are lost on this guy. He winks conspiratorially. I gotcha. Will I be able to see you later? I don't know. Do you have a telescope? With that, I make my way through the undulating dancer and over to the other side of the room. I can't believe that guy. It's people like him who give cruising a bad name. Oh well, maybe one day someone in his family will die and leave him some sense. I watch for a while as Willie wanders around, getting shot down, ignored, and, even elbowed. You'd think that he'd get a hint and take off, but no, little Willie won't go home. He finally zeroes in on the beautiful, sultry Fabia Hartman. I can hardly blame him. Fabia is tall and buxom in that warrior princess sort of way. She's wearing a white satin gown with gold nosebleed stilettos. The disco spotlights are backlighting her flaming red afro like a halo. Fabia is too fly, and Willie is cruising in a strictly no-fly zone. I can see that they're talking, and it looks like Willie is trying to flirt with Fabia. But hold everything. Fabia is actually flirting back. This could be interesting. Wow, Willie's not just flirting, he's scoring. Fabia has just planted a big, fat, juicy kiss on him. Looks like this boy doesn't waste any time. They're already leaving together. Child, I will have to make sure to stop by the Nap No More hair salon tomorrow to ask Fabian how Willie and his alter ego got along. I'll just happen by for a touch-up on my fade and to get the straight dope on the straight dope. I wonder how long it'll take Willie to discover that Fabia is a man in drag. Not long from the way things were going. I wonder if he'll mind. Well, Willie said he was a gambler. I just hope he likes his hand. Like a typical joker, he tried for an ace and ended up with a queen.